Okay, favorite and least favorite movies.
Uh, okay, here's the weird thing. Like, I like watching movie reviews by, like, other people on YouTube, but I don't actually go to the movies all that much. Like, I think the last film I ever saw in theaters was, I think, Doctor Strange. Like, when it first came out.
There are definitely worse things you could see in the theater.
Yeah, I like Doctor Strange. Even though Dormammu looked like nothing like he did in the comics. Although it did birth the whole Dormammu I've come to bargain thing, which I think is funny.
Well, I believe that was a catchphrase for Dormammu in the comics, but, tangent.
Yeah.
We've been on too many of those already, let's not do another one.
Yeah.
Okay. Who was the first person you subscribed to on YouTube?
I want to say that was either Louis Prower or Kaori, who goes by Nani Gray these days. I'm leaning towards Louis, but I can't be sure. It was one of those two.
I'll have to look up Louis Power sometime. I don't know that one. Okay. The first game you ever played, period. Oh gosh.
Well, my first console was an NES, because it was passed down to me by my dad. So I want to say it was the Mario / Duck Hunt cart. Like, as common of a game as it is, it was probably the first thing I played. I don't remember which game I actually did play on it, though. I want to say Mario first.
Fair enough. Okay. Have you ever designed a Robot Master or had a part in designing one?
Sorta. Like, I made Robot Master concepts when I was, like, super young, and they were all awful. Like, a part of me almost wishes, like, I had the drawings for those things, because I actually made stages based around them, and they were, like, the worst things ever.
Don't we all?
Like, I refined some of them when I got older, but, like, I haven't really done anything with them. Like, some of the concepts I had, at least, I remember I had one for an Aurora Man, and I had one for a Gear Man, but those are, I think, like, those are the only two I can remember right now.
Fair concepts. Well, and of course, Ultraman doesn't count.
Ultraman is just Mega Man with a Joe eye.
Yeah.
And he's kind of a glorified, what is that thing? The Weapons Archive from 10.
Yeah, fair enough. So, what is your favorite console, not excluding PC, and your favorite game from said console? Wait, not excluding PC. Favorite console other than PC. I apologize, I think I tripped a little there.
That's okay. So, favorite console other than PC. I would probably say either Super Nintendo or the first PlayStation. Like, those are the consoles I remember playing the most as a kid. Favorite games from, I guess I'll list each.
Makes sense.
Mega Man X2 was probably my favorite game on the Super Nintendo. Live a Live, obviously I don't have a physical copy of that because it was only ever released in Japan, but I'd still probably count it as one of my favorites. For PS1, the Spyro series I really liked, specifically Spyro 3. I remember playing a lot of Symphony of the Night, was never really good at it until, I got older and figured out, hey, I know what to do in this game now, actually.
Hooray! Okay then. Next question. Would you call Mega Man the Dark Souls of platforming games? I'm pretty freaking confident this is a joke question.
No, I wouldn't, and for the record, neither is Crash Bandicoot.
Whoa! I never would have guessed.
Whoa. Yes, whoa. The whoa meme.
Okay, favorite candy?
my usual answer to this is Shock Tarts, although they're not called Shock Tarts anymore. They're called Sweet Tart Sours, which I think is a kind of a dumb rebranding. They don't taste anything like Sweet Tarts, at least to me.
Not to mention, isn't that's longer?
Yeah. I also, even though I don't think they make them anymore, I also like, they're called Wonder Balls. Basically, they were they were a candy around in the 90s, from what I remember. I don't know when they stopped making them. They're basically these hollow chocolate spheres with hard candies inside them.
That sounds interesting.
I guess maybe kind of like a Kinder Surprise egg. I've never actually had one of those either because they're banned over here.
I've had them. There's not a lot of chocolate to them, if I'm recalling right.
Although apparently there are plans to bring them over here just with a slight redesign.
That would be interesting. Okay. From all the fan-made games you played, do you prefer ROM hacks or ones that were programmed from scratch?
I think I'm leaning more towards fan games. I mean, ROM hacks can be really good too. I mean, Rock Band 4MI, like just on a sheer technical level, that's super impressive. And I'm pretty sure Pure Sabe is also working on a Mega Man 7 hack too.
He is. I've seen screenshots on his Twitter.
Yep. But the thing is, like, as far as my experience goes with these, I guess I just prefer fan games because there's a stronger amount of better fan games than there are, actual good ROM hacks, sadly.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately, ROM hacks, there's a cavalcade of really bad Mega Man 2 ROM hacks. And just a bunch of other, really low-effort ROM hacks that you kind of have to sift through in order to, get the good stuff. And even then, I don't think there's that many.
I guess, I believe it was Sturgeon's Law applies.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, when Legacy Collection 2 drops, how long do you think it'll take to get a Mega Man 10 playthrough set up? Well, by the time we're recording this, and Legacy Collection 2 is already out.
Yep, I originally thought it would release on the 10th. Apparently I was wrong about that. It released 2 days earlier than I thought.
Surprise!
But yeah, probably shouldn't take too long. I'll probably do either a playthrough with either Mega Man or Bass. Most likely the latter, because I just think he's more fun to use in that game.
I don't disagree with that one. Okay. Can we see a picture of your cat?
Sure. I'll put one on screen.
Okay, what's the cat's name, and what kind of cat is it?
Her name is Katie. She's a tabby cat.
Ah. I bet she's cute.
Yup.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I can't see the picture.
You will when the video is up.
So I will. Okay, what is your favorite stand from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Insert JoJo here.
Is this another JoJo meme?
I think it might be. In all seriousness, for the longest time, I really liked Silver Chariot, and I still do. But I feel more inclined to say Killer Queen recently because, I don't know, I just like his design. His abilities are effective and simplistic up until he gets Bites the Dust, but even then, Bites the Dust is a lot easier to explain in terms of, the time-traveling shenanigan powers that some of these antagonists get. At least, especially in comparison to, It Just Works. AKA King Crimson's abilities. That and, Kira himself is an interesting antagonist. So, I guess like, my overall answer is Killer Queen, though Silver Chariot is a close second.
Fair enough. How long does it usually take you to make a video?
That depends. Like, depending on the video, anywhere between, like, a few hours to a few days. Like, it all depends on, like, what the game is I'm recording, and now that annotations are gone, I can't just, upload the footage unlisted and then add in the annotations afterwards. I actually have to spend time editing those in.
That must be fun. Not.
It takes a while, but I think it's worth it.
Fair enough. Why do you lend your voice for other video game commentary series? We kind of answered this one with a previous question, but just to refresh people's memories.
That's true. But for one...
Holy shit, this is amazing. Why isn't it in a good game?
The moment you say that...
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry I praised it for a second. I'm so sorry.
Moments like that. Mick will know what I'm talking about when he actually sees the video. He can't actually see anything now.
I'm hoping it's funny.
It will be. Trust me, it will.
If it's not funny, there will be problems, bud.
Oh no.
Oh yeah?
I'm gonna get the LP police on me. But yeah, beyond that, like, as stated before, I get a bit nervous when I do things solo. But again, I've been trying to, kind of conquer that as of late.
Hence, wanting to use your voice in more spots. Makes sense. What's your favorite main series, Mega Man soundtrack, and fan game soundtrack? I kinda wonder who asked this one.
I like all the soundtracks, maybe with the exception of 5, because again, 5 is kind of non-distinct in my mind. If I had to pick one, though, right now, I guess 10 for the main series.
That's a fair choice. Very fair choice.
As far as fan games go, I remember really liking Roko-chan's soundtrack.
That one had some nice music.
And even though it's, like, not officially out right now, I like some of the Revolution remix songs that have been posted.
Yes. The composers to that game have been doing an excellent job so far. Alright. So, as a follow-up, what's the worst? I think we both know the answer to this one.
Call edit. Like, no hesitation, call edit.
Yeah, that's really not hard.
On top of being, like, long and boring, you also get to listen to songs that just seem like somebody was just randomly hitting keys in FamiTracker.
Sounds like fun. So, how do you feel about achievements in video games?
I don't mind them, really. I mean, sometimes they can be fun, sometimes they can be a hassle to unlock.
Depends on the achievement.
Yeah, if they're typically a hassle to unlock, I just don't bother with them and don't think anything of them. I mean, sometimes, like I said, though, sometimes they can be fun. There's a whole game based around that called Achievement Unlocked, which I actually really like.
I'll try that one out. Okay. Oh boy, this is like several questions at once. Okay, what is your favorite weapon in any official Mega Man Classic game?
I'd probably have to go with Flash Bomb from Mega Man 8.
That's a fair choice.
It's kind of a basic weapon, but it just feels strong, and it just feels good to use. Tornado Hold, I guess, would be a close second to that. In fact, a lot of 8's weapons are really good.
Make an interesting point about Flash Bomb feeling good to use. That's important in my opinion. Something more fan game weapons should aim to do.
Yeah, the weapon has to be fun to use.
Yep. So,
Like, on just top of being good.
favorite weapon from the X series?
I'm tempted to say Chameleon Sting because of the charge-up ability. But if not that, Bubble Splash from X2 is probably a close second. Other ones I think that could also fill that niche. Sonic Slicer I like, despite it being kind of slow. Spinning Blade from X3 is fun too, and I'm not even going to go into any of the weapons from X4 and onwards because most of them are useless.
That's lame.
With the exception of, like, maybe the Charged Metal Anchor or Shining Ray from X6.
Fair enough. I wouldn't know. I haven't really played the X games. What is your favorite weapon from any fan game?
Phantom Fuse.
Okay.
Again, no hesitation, Phantom Fuse.
Yeah. And Rom Hacks?
That one's a little trickier. I guess Recycle Inhaler from 4MI. I mean, that weapon in particular has always been pretty interesting just because of, what it can do. If not with that one, God, I'm struggling on the name. The Kirby weapon from 6 Skype.
Okay then. Alright, and then, last but not least, as far as weapon questions go, favorite utility?
Utility, as in things like Rush Coil?
Magnet Beam, Rush Coil, etc.
Okay, probably Super Arrow?
That's a fair choice. It's fun to use.
Yeah, it's basically, at least to me, a more abusable version of Rush Jet. Although, I will say Rush Cycle from 8 could be interesting, not for the fact that 8 obviously wasn't built around that. Maybe we should just have Rush Cycle in Magnal 3. We need to make that happen.
Vote it in when the poll is actually open. Alright, favorite gimmick in any Mega Man game, including fan games and hacks? That's a huge list.
Yeah, it would be a pretty huge list, though I'm wondering, does the dragon from the Mega Man DOS remake count?
Sure, why not?
Because, with that boss, if you can kill it if you want, but if it, eats you at the end of that fight, you actually go into another stage.
Yeah, I've actually managed to kill it before. You need its weakness. I remember what its weakness is, but I'm not going to say it right now because spoilers.
I already did a playthrough on it.
Too bad, I'm still not saying.
Oh.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your videos?
0. They all suck.
This question totally isn't vulnerable to bias.
Yeah, in all seriousness, I guess, 6-ish out of 10. I'll be the first to admit my stuff is far from perfect. I think I've at least evolved to a better point than in comparison to my earlier stuff, which was, really... Look, I'd be tempted to call that stuff actually 0 out of 10.
Well, nobody's videos are perfect. That's just the nature of the game, really. You can always improve on something.
This is true.
So, the next question is, favorite Dark Souls boss?
I don't know if I have an overall favorite, from the overall series. I guess maybe Pontiff Sullivan from 3, but if I had to... I could probably narrow this down to, each game.
Sure, let's go with that.
So, Demon Souls I never played, but, apparently you can get that working on an emulator now, so I'm probably gonna have to try that.
Fair.
Dark Souls 1, Sif. Dark Souls 2, I would say a 3-way tie between the major DLC bosses, Fume Knight, Sirlon, and the Burnt Ivory King. Those 3 were all kind of high points for me. And 3, as I've said, Pontiff Sullivan, though Gale is also a pretty fun boss.
Fair enough.
And Bloodborne, if it counts, Ludwig.
Close enough. As a follow-up, favorite armor set and or weapon in the series?
Oh,
There's
there
a
are...
lot, isn't there?
Yes, there is. There are too many to count.
Oh boy.
Off the top of my head, just a few of the armor sets that I like. Brass set, Crimson set, Silver Knight set, the Drakekeeper set from 2, Fume Knight set, Alon set, the Dancer set, the Dragon Slayer set, both Ornstein's version and the Iron version from Dark Souls 3, the Ringed Knight set, the list kind of goes on and on. Especially since I like to play Fashion Souls.
That sounds like an interesting game.
It's where you mix up your armor and try to be as fashionable as possible, regardless of how it affects your defense, because fashion is everything.
Excellent.
As for weapons, again, there's, like, way too many to count. Like, just thinking on a few specific ones, the Bone Fists from 2 have always been one of my favorites. Ivory King Ultra Greatsword, I've personally liked. Some of the special paired weapons in Dark Souls 3, like the Crow Quills and Valor Heart, I like, simply because they're a lot different than the usual set of weapons in that game. And I could go on, but like that would extend this video by way too much.
Yeah, let's not go too deep down the rabbit hole there. Okay. Current IRL activities. IRL as in real life.
Not much. Like, my life outside YouTube is kind of boring, if we're being perfectly honest here.
You could say that about a lot of people. Okay. What was the very first Mega Man boss you've ever defeated?
Dustman. I think that's probably contributed to why he's my favorite Robot Master in 4.
Yeah, that could do it.
I've mentioned this before, but Dustman was, like, the first Robot Master I ever saw, like, in-game. Like, in a Mega Man game. Unless you want to count, like, Pharaoh Man on the box art of Mega Man 4.
Well, you said in-game.
Well, yeah.
Box art isn't in-game.
It's a part of the game. It's a part of the experience.
Especially if you played Mega Man 1. Okay. What are your favorite and least favorite game series?
Favorites, aside from, Mega Man and Dark Souls, well, let's get the obvious one out of the way. I like the Final Fantasy series. That's where my username is based on.
One of the bonus bosses from Final Fantasy V, right?
Yep.
Hooray! I remember some Final Fantasy trivia.
Let's see. I like the Earthbound series. Beyond that, I like the Castlevania series. Spyro 1 through 3, as I mentioned before. Didn't really care for the GameCube game. I don't know what the hell's going on with him and Skylanders, though.
And the reboot is just not worth talking about.
There was a reboot?
There was something before Skylanders. They did a new trilogy.
Oh, I don't think... well, based on your wording of that, I don't know if I want to know more about that.
I mean, I don't even know. So... But it's very possible you may not want to know.
Now I'm just imagining, like, an edgy Spyro reboot, and it's making me sad.